todos! I'm Emma Otheguy. I'm going to be reading you A Sled for Gabo, which is written by me, Emma Otheguy, illustrated by Ana Ramirez Gonzalez, and is about Gabo, a boy who, before this story begins, moves from somewhere where it is warm, where there is hot sun and palm trees, to somewhere where it is very, very cold. And it is his first snow day, and he doesn't have a sled. He wants to go out and meet new kids in his town, but he's feeling shy, and he doesn't have a sled because he's just moved to somewhere cold for the first time. But Gabo has some very special gifts. What are his special gifts? Gabo es bilingüe. He speaks Spanish and English, so he can speak to double the number of people in his new town. You're going to hear him speaking Spanish to some of his neighbors who are Spanish-speaking. Gabo loves animals. He's one of those people who, when he's around animals, the animals just feel calm and at home. And so he gets to be friends with all of the animals in his town before he's even met the other kids. And then Gabo has some very special, sweet Latin American treats that you're going to hear about in the story. A Sled for Gabo. The day it snowed, Gabo followed the whistling sound of an old steam radiator into the kitchen. He stood on tiptoe and glimpsed a metal can bobbing and bouncing in the water. Yum, he thought, before Mommy came and shooed Gabo away. Gabo pressed his face to the window, and his warm breath bloomed a cloud of fog onto the glass. He wiped it off and saw kids from his new school tugging sleds up the hill, then coasting down, whooping and shrieking all the while. Gabo didn't have a sled. His socks were cotton, not wool. He didn't have waterproof boots. He did have a hat with a pom-pom, but that was 2 sizes too small. Vamos a resolver, Mommy said. They were going to figure it out. 1 sock, 2 socks, 3 socks, 4. Gabo's feet were toasty warm. Papi's hat slipped over his eyes, and Gabo rolled up the brim. Plastic bags are waterproof, so Mommy tied them to Gabo's sneakers. Mommy opened the door, and they looked at the houses all in a row. Against the slate-gray sky, the colors popped. Maybe I should go and find a sled, said Gabo. And with a little push from Mommy, he did. Rin, rin, wow, wow! Senor Ramos's dog Sancho barked joyfully to see Gabo at the door. Senor Ramos, do you have a sled? Gabo asked. I don't have a sled, Senor Ramos said, but I am making guava jam on toast for Isa, my granddaughter who is coming to visit. Isa is just your age. Why don't you stay a while? No gracias, said Gabo, who was much too shy for anyone just his age. Outside, Gabo played with Missy Fu, a cat who lived on the cover of a manhole and belonged to nobody and everyone at once. Missy Fu puffed his chest, and so did Gabo. Missy Fu shook out his coat, and so did Gabo, scattering icy snow. Gabo, mi amor! Hola, Señora Tobong, said Gabo. What are you doing with Missy Fu instead of playing on the hill? I don't have a sled, Gabo explained. Señora Tobong shook her head. You don't need a sled to play. Mira, my mango is ripe and ready to share. She held out the mango, carefully cubed, and nodded toward the snowy slope where school kids were skidding, gliding, and bumping down the hill. Gabo reached into his pocket and felt his leftover Christmas turrón. There were 2 crunchy candy pieces. One could be for Gabo and one for a new friend. But Gabo was much too shy to hand out mango cubes and leftover Christmas turrón. Gabo dragged his feet. The plastic bags started to slip. The snow was turning gray from all the traffic in the town. A lady in the distance waved a yellow-mittened hand. "Tio Tim," Gabo yelled. "Madrina!" Tio Tim scooped Gabo into the air. He almost skimmed the sky. And what was that? Behind Madrina's back there was a... "Oh," said Gabo, feeling very small and very sad. The plastic tray was from the school cafeteria where Madrina worked. It was wrapped in a bow. But the plastic tray was not a sled. "Sancho!" yelled a girl who could only be Isa, Señor Ramos's granddaughter. Sancho bounded toward Gabo and leaped into his arms. Sancho was perfectly happy, and Gabo forgot to be shy. "Could I have a turn on your sled?" Isa asked. "I don't have a sled," Gabo said sadly. "Of course you do!" And on the plastic tray, Isa swooped right down to the bottom of the hill. She ran back up, and on that tray, Gabo coasted down, whooping and shrieking all the while. Por fin! When the snowy day turned to icy dusk and the sledding hill was empty, the old steam radiator whistled and the metal can sat on the counter to cool. Gabo handed out spoons, and Papi turned the crank of the can opener. "Dulce de leche!" yelled Gabo and Isa at the exact same time, then dipped their spoons into the can. Gabo licked his lips and reached into his pocket, where there was one more treat that Gabo was not too shy to share. Y colorín colorado, ya mi cuento se ha acabado, y el tuyo ni empezado. Muchísimas gracias, and thank you for reading A Sled for Gabo with me.